So it is episode 4. Welcome back, everyone, of How's Your Week Been? I'm Lee Wilcox, co-founder, CEO of On The Tools. Soon to be, as everyone's aware, because everyone is following the LinkedIn series, Countdown T-minus, soon to be Electric House, and become part of that family. But today I'm excited. We've got Yiannis No, I've got it wrong already. Yiannis Maos. I keep getting it wrong. Yiannis Maos. Yiannis Maos. From Hyve, co-founder of Hyve, which is a customer relationship and empowerment product and platform. I'm going to let Yiannis explain more about that. We're going to go through some Whibcoin and see what Yiannis can end up with, see if he can beat, I think Alan Barrett is top at the minute, Jamie was telling me. But I'm going to let Yiannis jump in and tell me about Hyve, about you, where you're based, and we've got a bit of a Brummie connection going on, which I always like. So great to have you here, mate.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, great to be a part of it. I'll tell you a little bit about Hyve, I guess.
Yeah, do it.
Cool. So, Hyve is a kind of customer relationship empowerment platform, as we like to call it, centers around brand advocacy. So we're all about getting real customers to tell real stories. So it's all about authenticity and trust in a world where it's lacking, really. So the platform allows kind of large corporate organizations to engage with their consumers on a kind of deeper level. So it all centers around collaboration, and we frame it around the 3 C's of collaboration. So that's building a community you can engage with, crowdsourcing that community for kind of ideas that can inspire, and then finally co-creating with that community to create new products and services and the new propositions that are kind of hopefully enable you to grow.
Nice. I like it. So this allows you then, and allows brands to create communities and ultimately engage them. So I guess this is used for like market research purposes, R&D, real engagement to get questions answered that probably just can't get answered.
Absolutely.
Any other place.
Yeah. It's spot on. Yeah.
So good sell for that, was it? Yiannis?
Yeah. Do you want to join us?
Yeah.
Nice.
I do need a job, to be honest.
Yeah, so it kind of ultimately all starts with a community, right? It's all about building a kind of authentic, trustworthy community, a community of people that, want to be your advocates, want to be your ambassadors. But following that is getting them to kind of work with you, work alongside you, and to kind of shape the future of the company. So one part of it absolutely is just kind of, market research, polls, surveys, kind of, showing them new products and services and getting them to kind of feedback on that. But it's deeper than that. So it's about actually then getting them to kind of lean in and say, do you know what? This is how we would kind of shape that product and service. This is how we would develop it further. So it's going through that kind of co-creation phase as well as kind of getting them to do user-generated content, referral marketing, and just kind of general brand awareness stuff as well.
Love it. So I'm going to pick a bit up about that in a bit as well, more about that. But firstly, what we always do for every guest is create your own jingle. So we're gonna do the Yiannis Maos jingle now. I'm saying now. I'll say now.
We all love Yiannis Maos. We all love
Yiannis Maos.
We all love Yiannis Maos. We all love Yiannis Maos.
Never had a jingle before, so that's very cool.
What I like about the jingles is that I never hear them before, so I'm always like, Jamie, please don't make something that's not good. But I enjoyed that.
That was good.
We all do love. It wasn't you. Who was it?
It was Andy.
Andy. Oh, was it? Well done, Andy. So that's your jingle. We'll send you that so you can have that as your personal ringtone on your phone or something. I mean, that would be a good one actually.
That is pretty cool. I'm going to make sure
Chippy or something, and that goes off. We've got the Birmingham connection. You guys are based in Brum.
Yes, we are.
Always love a Brum-based business. So how did you, tell us a bit about you. How did you start the bit? What was the decision to start Hyve? Like, where were you before? Give us a bit about your background and stuff.
Yeah, of course. So I guess I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, really. Never like kind of conventions. Even going back to kind of when I was at school, failed all my GCSEs. Kind of left school thinking kind of, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? As kind of a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And I think it was because the education system was fundamentally kind of broken, and still to a certain extent is.
Yeah.
I think people with creative minds, people that think differently, are often let down because they're not kind of academic. So kind of explored lots of different things. for travel agent, go and kind of study leisure and tourism, hospitality, kind of working in hotels and restaurants and bars, as you do. And then kind of started to think, actually, no, there's something about kind of the creative space. And that kind of really kind of takes my fancy. So kind of went to university, studied media production, and had this kind of vision of kind of being a documentary filmmaker. Being the next kind of, Nick Broomfield, so to speak. And kind of really enjoyed that, got really into it, kind of took on photography, kind of digital production as well, and videography. And then in the final year, got offered a placement at this software company in kind of back end of Coventry. Kind of went along for the interview thinking kind of nothing of it, and kind of said to me, look, kind of, we think, that you've got something to offer us. Do you want to join us for like a free 4-month placement? So I did that, loved working with the team, kind of ended up winning quite a few awards through that particular scheme as well. And then got offered a position straight out of university. And then it's that kind of decision where you go, do I follow the dream?
Do I take a job?
Do I take the money?
Yeah.
I took the money. With a view to going, do you know what? I'll do this for a year. And then get a bit of money behind me, and then I can start to explore what I really want to do.
The big question is, how long were you there for?
10 years. 10 years later, I was still there. It was a fab company.
Yeah.
So kind of we kind of travelled all the way around the world. Had fun kind of building the product. We changed the whole proposition. So when I joined, the company was called Repeat Communication. When I left, we'd rebranded it to Rant and Rave. Which is a lot cooler, I'm sure you'll agree. And it was all about kind of customer feedback, kind of capturing insights, and then doing something with that for kind of, again, large corporate organisations. And I'd gone from everything from a marketing grad all the way to kind of marketing director, looking after kind of the sales function and marketing as well at the same time. So kind of, great journey. And
then what happened for you to then start Hyve? 10 years there, you've obviously got a lot of experience from them going through that as well.
Absolutely.
You've still got this, you got like a niggling feeling, you've got what's the...
Yeah, I think it was the right time.
Yeah.
I think the team I'd built, I was so proud of. They were great. And I realised that they didn't need me anymore. It was at that point where you go, actually, they can do all this. I'm there kind of working on kind of the strategy for the next year, thinking, do I really want to go and do this again? Or do I want to kind of explore kind of what I want to do? And I'd always had this idea of kind of a brand advocacy platform, not influencer marketing, because I think that's kind of the wrong type of engagement, but actually real customers telling real stories, kind of almost taking, that if you've captured the feedback, you've understood about, how someone feels about you. If it's a positive experience, what can we do with that person? How can we really engage with them? So kind of bit the bullet and started Hyve. So been doing that now for about 18 months, really.
Okay. And so you're running it for 18 months. How's your week been?
Bonkers, absolutely bonkers, because we've obviously got Hyve, which kind of lots going on. We're about to launch the platform in 6 weeks. Okay. So kind of before then, we've kind of been building the proposition, kind of doing a lot of kind of consultancy with people around kind of the subject of brand advocacy. But at the same time, decided to stupidly, but in a good way, launch Birmingham Tech Week, which has caused my week to go from kind of, probably 60 hours to close to 100 now, which my wife loves me for, of course. But it's been fun, and it's been kind of, it's needed in the region to kind of create a kind of tech community within Birmingham.
Yeah, I've got a lot of, I've got a few questions on that later, actually, on just on Birmingham itself and my view of it. And I try and do a lot of networking within Birmingham, but I don't know whether I think there's certain organisations trying to help, but I don't know how well it's being sort of pulled together and stuff. And I think there's companies that are doing it really well, and there's others that are saying they're doing it and they're not doing it very well. And it's an interesting space in Birmingham at the minute. But so you've had 18 months of building a product there then.
Yeah.
So it's a SaaS product.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a SaaS platform.
And what's been the biggest challenge getting it to the point? When did you say you launched? In 6 weeks, did you say?
6 weeks, yeah.
Right,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you're pretty much there. You get to the point bit now where you're like, it's like squeaky bum time, innit?
Shit's got real.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, so what's been the biggest challenge over that 18 months as the co-founder and and what position do you take within the business as well? That's something worth
so my background's been marketing.
Yeah.
So kind of I like to build brands. That excites me. So yeah, really that's been my role, is building the brand, building the proposition.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of work with people like Warwick Business School to kind of conduct original research into the space, to kind of uncover kind of new insights that we can then kind of take into the product and develop further as well. So that's been good. But yeah, really about building the proposition and kind of the marketing around it.
So you're building the brand there and what it means and what it stands for, and then what people are going to understand it as and perceive it as, and is messaging right. So what, across that 18 months then, what's been the biggest challenge you've had trying to get the product ready for launch?
Yeah, I mean, but getting a product ready for launch, kind of I'm lucky to have a fantastic business partner who is a kind of, I've been doing him a discredit if I called him a software developer, because he's so much more than that. He's someone that kind of gets it strategically, kind of contributes to kind of the marketing proposition, and just kind of we bounce off each other. We worked previously at Rant and Rave together,
right.
So that helps. But time, it takes longer than kind of I ever imagined anything to kind of...
What was the original timeline?
Oh, it's probably, I don't know, 6 months.
Yeah,
we'll get the early prototype out there and kind of, let's kind of, take it for a spin, see how kind of we get on. But I think when we started to address the market and the type of kind of organizations that we wanted to engage with, they weren't going to be kind of happy with, something that's been created in 6 months. We needed kind of careful consideration. We needed to make sure that we understood their needs. So I spent a lot of time actually just validating, sitting down with people, our target audience, and just kind of asking, or hopefully sensible questions about kind of, what their challenges are around kind of marketing, brand, advocacy, whatever it may be, and hopefully kind of taking some of that insight back into the product itself.
Any bits of advice, any bits for someone who's looking to start a SaaS product, anything you could say, like, don't do this, I completely like shafted myself, or this was a real error we made, or any bit of advice that you can give someone as a bit of a gem? Yeah,
I think kind of you've got to take your time, and you've got to listen to people. You've got to really, really listen to people. People claim to listen to people, but they don't. So I've come across a lot of people in my time that kind of only want to hear what they want to hear. And therefore they're sitting kind of talking to people who, essentially are their kind of target audience, of people that are going to buy from them, who are telling them, actually, no, what you've got is good, but you need to kind of pivot or shape it in this way. And because they're kind of so stubborn, they'll go, no, I want to do it this way. Luckily, I think we've got the benefit of hindsight of going through kind of, the time at Rant and Rave to go, actually, we need to take that time of kind of considering our audience and what the platform should be versus kind of what in reality it will become. Yeah, it's so easy, isn't it? I think it's good advice. It's so easy to talk to people when you've got and as well, because when you've got an idea and then you have started it, you end up getting into the position, don't you, where you love it so much that you want to make sure that whatever that idea was, you want to make sure it comes to life and it happens, and then when you get people giving you challenges against that and it changes too much, you can sort of, and then it's easier to just go and talk to people that are going to agree with you, and then what's the point almost? You then end up launching about a sort of a product that's not going to work. So I think it's I think it's good advice. Don't fall in love with your own idea. That's kind of sin number one when you're in a startup, right? I mean, we started on the tools off the back of a recruitment idea for an app. It never launched. Yeah. We built it once. We got ripped off with it. We built it again, and then we were like, actually, this is a bit of a shit idea. We shouldn't. It's not going to serve the purpose that we first thought it was going to. Things have changed. Recruitment's changed. The industry's changed. And actually, the value proposition of the app itself was something that when we looked at, we were like, well, people aren't going to really come back for it, I don't think. They're gonna. That's it. They might need to come back every 2 months, and then you go, well, because the whole thing was built on the penny gap, on like, I don't want to charge tradespeople. Right. Okay. So then we were like, brands will pay and be able to utilise the data we're collecting. So, and then in the end, we were like, this is not a very good idea. I think there's a problem to solve there with the recruitment industry within construction, but we weren't going to solve it with that. So then you have to go, I mean, I come up with shit ideas every day. It's the graveyard. It's kind of, exactly, yeah. It's part of the process, right? Yeah. For every kind of 10 shit ideas, you hope that you kind of come up with one good one, and that, you can shape and kind of turn into something that can help. But yeah, but I think to your point, it's about problem solving, right? Find a problem and solve it. The amount of times I come across people who have got a good idea, but it doesn't solve a problem, and therefore it's always doomed to fail. But yeah, there is a lot of kind of the startup graveyard. That kind of
I love the start. I'd love to go back to my startup graveyard. I bet there's some right horrific things in there, like horrendous things.
Oh yeah.
There's so as we do each week, there's the Whib coin count. Yiannis, I'm going to give you 2 points. One for your answer originally, but two, I like the reference of the startup graveyard and the problem solving sort of thing. So you're on 2. It's a good start. It's all right.
Good.
Which leads me nicely into the actual quiz. So you've got the Birmingham link, which we'll talk about in a bit. I've got a lot to talk about Birmingham, and I think
I'm really worried about this, by the way.
About the Birmingham quiz.
No, just quizzes in general.
Quizzes in general.
Fail misreport.
So what I will do is, for the audience, I'll caveat: you're not from Birmingham. You've just been in Birmingham for a while now.
That's right. 8 years. Yeah.
8 years. Yeah. I mean, it's justified us doing a Birmingham quiz, then, mate. You should know some stuff about Birmingham.
Okay.
I'd like to also point out that Jamie does the questions for these.
Okay. Thanks, Jamie.
So they're nothing to do with business or work. They're just Birmingham facts.
Just Birmingham facts, okay.
I'm going to jump in. Question 1, Yiannis, is Brum has famously more canals than Venice, but how long are the waterways? It's multiple choice. I won't just,
I was going to say, yeah.
How long are the waterways? And then just you
pass.
So is it A, 35 miles? Is it B, 42 miles? Or is it C, 170 miles? That's a hard question, that is, because it's one of those ones where how do you, unless you're a real keen canal person within Birmingham, I'd struggle to work out the relativity of
I'm trying to think where the canals go to and where they kind of. I'm going to go 42.
Okay, it's gone in the middle, which is a sensible thing to do on multiple choice, I find sometimes. But unfortunately, it was actually A, 35 miles.
Well, it's not that different.
No, you were close. You didn't go for the 170 miles, so that's that's good. Question 2: the custard factory. You know the custard factory?
I know it well.
Good. The heart of creativity in Birmingham was the location of which custard invention? So is it A, custard pies? Is it B, refrigerated custard? Or is it C, egg-free custard?
I'll have the answers again.
Is it A, custard pies, B, refrigerated custard, or is it C, egg-free custard?
Egg-free custard.
You know what? It's a ding, ding, ding. It's egg-free custard.
Yeah.
And
powdered custard.
Jamie's nicely added a little bit of information in behind this as well, in brackets. It was invented by Alfie Bird, whose wife was allergic to eggs. That's what it's created. Problem solver.
There you go.
Problem solver, you see.
Absolutely.
But he made a fortune, or maybe he didn't. His wife was in love with him for the rest of his life.
It's like Tate, though. Tate, the sugar manufacturer. We've got Tate Modern. Tate Britain. Off the back of that.
Yeah, I like it. Question 3: which Birmingham football club is the highest above sea level? Is it A, Aston Villa, B, Birmingham City, or is it C, West Bromwich Albion?
That is a tough one.
When you say football club, you mean football ground? Yeah. A, Aston Villa, B, Birmingham City, or C, West Bromwich Albion. Which Birmingham football club is the highest above sea level?
As Aston Villa just got in contact about Birmingham Tech Week to support us, I'm going to go for Villa.
You know what? That was really smart. I'm giving you a point for that anyway, because as a founder, that's a smart way of dropping in perspective time. Well done.
Basically, I haven't got a fucking clue. So
Yeah. What was the answer that you gave?
Villa.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's wrong. It is C, West Bromwich Albion. Now, the thing you've got to know about this is that he's a West Brom fan. Oh. If you'd known that, then you would have gone for C. And actually, if you'd seen them written out, it's A, the Vile, B, Birmingham Shitty, or C, mighty West Bromwich Albion. And they are 551 feet above sea level.
Well, there you go. I'm a Bolton Wanderers fan, so
you've had a sticky time.
I've had a bit of a shit time, right? Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about all of that?
Relieved.
Yeah.
I think first and foremost that I've actually got a club to support. But yeah, kind of. I think we could do a whole new podcast on the state of football right now.
The state of football, it's a shitstorm, isn't it? I know our creative director, the co-founder, him and his son Dylan were going up to the Bolton away game last year, and then I was with him. We were with him in London the day before, weren't we? And then it came up in the news that the game was going to be played behind closed doors and that it might not even go ahead. And I was like, what is going on? How can that happen? So how can it just disappear into thin air? It doesn't make sense.
I know,
and it frustrates the life out of me.
If you think about kind of a Premier League and kind of all the money that's pumped into that, all the kind of foreign investment that some of those clubs get, and then you look at kind of Bolton with Bury, kind of sad to see a club with so much history kind of go down.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be kind of common.
It will be 100%. The gap between the Championship and the Prem is just massive, so big. We hijacked the quiz then. Question 4.
Give myself a breather.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it doesn't like the pressure of it. Question 4. This is such a random question. How many Wetherspoon pubs are there in the West Midlands? Is it A, 32, B, 40, or C, 55?
A.
It was B, 40. I have nothing else to say about it because I don't know what relevance it has. So question 5, what is Ozzy Osbourne's real name? Is it A, John Michael Osborne? Is it B, Oliver Osborne? Or is it C, James Michael Osborne?
I'm just basically going to go on who I think he looks most like.
Okay.
James.
And you went for C, James Michael Osborne.
Yeah. No, it's not.
I'm afraid you're wrong. It's John.
Which is Yiannis translated to English.
Oh, you totally.
So it's actually Yiannis Osborne.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Oh, I'm devastated for you now. I know that as well.
Oh,
so overall, then you got 1 for the quiz, but I gave you an extra one because you somehow managed to drop the greatest club in football into the conversation. And did you say that they've shown support? They're in.
Absolutely. They are indeed. Yeah.
It's good work. Good clients to get.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. Yeah. I think we've seen loads of that. People just wanted to help, kind of change the, I suppose, narrative of Birmingham in general, but also kind of the tech scene. So,
which, Yiannis, you help me out so much with the flow of this podcast. It's unreal. I don't think I've ever had one that's the segues have moved into each other so well. Which brings us back into the whole Birmingham thing. I wanted to catch up with you about the city. I have frustrations with, I guess, the Midlands as a whole, but specifically Birmingham. Right, I love Birmingham. I love Tamworth. I love the Midlands. Right, I'm proud that the business has been able to grow and thrive so much in little old Paisley and Tamworth. And we are on the verge of moving closer towards Birmingham city centre. So we're moving over to the Fort Dunlop building, hopefully in December, because we just couldn't find the right property and place for us to be in Tamworth. Really happy that we're moving closer to Birmingham, actually. I think it's going to be great for the overall sort of business anyway, and the view of where it is and the perception of that. But also I think from a talent point of view, we're going to be able to attract more people, and it's a much better space. We've got much more room. We're going to do loads of cool stuff there. It's going to be brilliant. Cool. And as a sort of media agency, a social media and publishing agency, we're excited to move over there. Now I try and I do different bits with KPMG and try and network with them, and they have a bit of a morning where they're once every 6 weeks they'll try and connect a load of people. And
so it's kind of Stan, kind of Alistair, kind of people like that. I know. Well, Tim Kay runs it.
Tim Kay, yes,
great guy.
So Tim's trying to do stuff at KPMG where he's seen the sphere of what Birmingham's working in within the minute, sees that there's loads of potential and opportunity and all these things, and that it's undervalued in comparison to what London is, right? Yeah. And look, it's the second city, but I get that. And even behind Manchester, I would argue.
I mean, I don't even think you have to argue it. I think Manchester, I'd say Leeds, I'd say Nottingham,
I'd say Newcastle even to a certain extent as well. There's a lot goes on up there. And so I look at it and go, well, why is that happening? I love what Tim's trying to do and connect people. Yeah. But the structure is not there in the Midlands at the minute, where founders, particularly within tech and media, can connect, support, be invested with or behind it, whether that be support by peer-to-peer or support financially. It's not seen as a hub, yet it's ranked number 1 regionally for the last 7 years. And I don't...
It's crazy,
do you think it gets the credit? Do you think it's... Like, I just don't understand why it's not seen as a hub of, like, entrepreneurialism and tech startup and media startup. It's just not there.
It's not, is it? I think it's kind of... This is kind of where it all, I guess, kind of came from with me. Similar frustrations. You know, I'd be quite lucky to spend a lot of time in London, as I'm sure you have. And, you know, London, you're never short of a kind of, not just a networking event, but a good quality networking event, you know, something that you're going to get kind of some unique insight, you're going to learn, you're going to meet some kind of like-minded people. I'd been invited down to kind of take part in London Tech Week. So they asked me to host a big part of their kind of main conference, which is like Tech Accelerate. So obviously kind of proud and privileged to be asked to do that. Went down, did it. But as I do, kind of come away from something like that, kind of reflecting. I'm thinking kind of, why not Birmingham? Kind of, why do I keep having to go down to London to do these kind of events and kind of, you know, shout about kind of, you know, the great London scene? And London is a different beast, right? I think it's wrong to try and kind of compare Birmingham to London or even try to compete with London.
Yeah.
Let's leave that to one side. But Birmingham, again, like I said before, Manchester, Leeds, Nottingham, Newcastle, whatever it may be, just isn't kind of where it needs to be. So I started investigating a little bit more why that was, and it really came down to I guess two things. One is kind of a lack of collaboration in the city. People are very protective over their kind of bubbles, even though those organisations are really striving to kind of achieve the same thing, which is kind of lift Birmingham, you know, kind of raise its profile in the tech scene and wider scenes as well, and also create pathways for entrepreneurs and businesses to actually kind of find the right level of investment, talent, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think the second thing is a cultural one. Brummies don't like to shout about kind of stuff. Very much like to go, yeah, it's all right. Yeah. But I think we need to start doing that more and more. We need a big PR kind of drive around Birmingham to really lift the profile of the city, especially around kind of tech and startups. So I had a moan, and then I thought, do you know what, sod it, let's just do something about it. So on a Saturday, kind of created Birmingham Tech Week, created the brand, the website. I think the wife was out kind of probably shopping or something, and it was like kind of, shit, I've got 2 hours, what do I do? So did it all. Monday morning kind of stuck it out on LinkedIn, just thinking, oh, do you know what, if we get kind of 5 to 10 events taking place during the week, then great, we can kind of, you know, it's a start, you know, let's call it MVP year. Fast forward to where we are now, and there's over 50 events being planned, 20 locations across the city. All the hubs have come together and said, yeah, we want to be a part of this, we want to support it. So it just goes to show there is appetite, but it needs to be consistent. It needs to have a legacy, and it needs to drive real change moving forward. Otherwise, kind of, you know, we're just going to go back to the same way of working, and we're going to have a bit of a kind of, you know, blast during the week, and that's it.
It's really interesting, isn't it, you say about the whole cultural thing, and that, you know, Brummies is just a bit like, well, I've done it, like, it's there, and we're there with it. It's
Which
really
sometimes
interesting.
Is good, actually. Sometimes you don't want to shout too much about something, but I think there's right times and there's kind of wrong times, and I think some, you know, Brummies just tend to not at all.
And so how long's... Talk to me about Birmingham Tech Week. You know, you've sort of explained what that is. How long has it been running, and what have you seen come from that, and how's it grown, sort of thing? Yeah,
so kind of, I think I founded it about 3 months ago. So
right, okay.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, this is the first year, kind of, never been done before, which I think surprised everyone. It was like, wait a minute, Birmingham's never had a tech week. Obviously, London has, Manchester has. I know other cities kind of have as well.
Isn't it?
You know, when you kind of come up with an idea and you think, I'm missing something here. You know?
Yeah.
I remember once kind of thinking, kind of, you know, the old classic kind of see-through toaster. Great idea. Yeah. I'm the first person to ever think of that. Google, shit. I mean, about the times I've done that, Google something and gone, oh yeah, it's already been done.
Me and my girlfriend did it the other night. We were, where were we? We were away on holiday, and room key. We came up with an idea to basically have a room key that would, and I was like, I've seen anything on the mobile with it. So I could add it into my wallet, collect the data from it, do offers, etc. And I was like, I've never used one.
Yeah.
Quick Google and some of the actual hotels have built them.
Premier Inn, I think, have got one. Because Premier Inn were a client of ours. I'm pretty sure I put it into an innovation paper for them. Not that I came up with it. I'd obviously found it from a kind of Deloitte or something.
For 30 seconds, I was like,
life,
I'm onto something here. And then you Google it and you're like, oh shit, I'll park that. Is it? You went in the graveyard real quick. But it happens all the time, doesn't it? And it's hilarious that you've dropped on something and then been like,
it's not been done before, so maybe you should do something. But I never thought it would kind of get to where it has done now and kind of receive a level of support. And now for us, it's more about going, well, actually, kind of what is kind of the legacy? What can the catalyst, kind of Birmingham Tech Week as a catalyst be? And I think it kind of, for us, it's about helping organisations, helping attract inward investment into the region, but also inspiring the next generation. Giving them kind of that inspiration around kind of tech careers, not just kind of, you can be a software developer, but actually there's so many things you can do in tech. Pretty much every business now isn't a tech business anyway. But I think that is one of our kind of key kind of goals really for the week. Encourage more collaboration, of course, but also connecting up kind of, public sector, private sector and academia as well, because that's the problem. That's where the problem really lies. You might get collaboration in those kind of different silos, but the fact that they don't kind of engage with each other and kind of solve real problems together is a crying shame.
That's the key thing, is that's where you're going to solve problems. I mean, if you imagine that if you could really, really drive the creative and tech space through some of the more sort of like public sector and more of the, particularly the education system and the way that's dealt with, and again, you could do a whole podcast on that, and I'm sure we'll end up feeling the same about it as well. But the easy part is connecting. In Birmingham Tech Week, the easy bit will be making sure that the tech companies come out and collaborate with each other. Well, that's like if that collaboration there, I think. I still think that the creative space and tech space are better at collaborating than maybe other industries. Yeah. I think we're not very good at it in Brum. I agree with you, and I don't know why that is and why there's like silos of stuff. But I think I think the objective there is great. I think if you can bring money to the city for founders when they need it, and tech always needs it. I think that's a massive objective to have and a big challenge to come across, and because I think once that happens and you've got something there that can, why is it not on the map? I guess that's the question, isn't it? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Stuff's happening.
Biggest population kind of outside of London by some distance. Youngest city kind of regionally. Kind of most diverse city. More startups. Kind of. We've got all the building blocks, we've got all the foundations.
Yeah, and then it's lost.
It's lost, yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
And I think kind of it's also about kind of, selfishly, and I'm sure you feel the same. I want to be able to kind of start a company in Birmingham, a tech company, and not have to look over my shoulder and go, might need to go to London. We might need to go to London because there isn't the talent, there isn't the infrastructure, there isn't the support here we need. So that for me, selfishly, is what Birmingham Tech Week is about. It's about creating an ecosystem where organisations like mine and like yours can flourish.
Yeah.
And obviously that then kind of multiplies across every single kind of startup and tech company.
So what do you think that can be done to get the next gen of tech enthusiasts through in this area? Like because we spoke about the education system there.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think tech is probably being more catered for. I think creativity isn't catered for, barely catered for through the education system because and I think tech is more so now, and the roles for tech, etc. But how do you think that comes through people going to university, or do you think it really there's some insane level of talent coming out of schools that can go into roles and learn what they need to learn and grow through that and have look, I went to uni, I dropped out. I went there and just got pissed and then left a year and a half in being like, I don't know what I'm getting letters from the uni being like, we're going to kick you out. And I was like, I know, yeah, I'm going to jump before I'm kicked out, I think. And, you know, but it wasn't right for me. I went there because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, literally, but I'm not being funny. I got 2 U's and an E and I got into a university.
Yeah.
What kind of uni is it? You know, no offence, Derby, and there's I'm sure great people who've gone there, but they let me in. They shouldn't have let me in. I was not of the grade to get there. And then there's lots of pitfalls in it, and I think, well, how do we get these people through? How do people come through to? Why would they choose to come and live in Birmingham if they're not already? And is it through what you're doing with Birmingham Tech? But what else can be done? How other businesses can be connecting? And that's what I like about KPMG and what they're doing, because they're looking at it and going, okay. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely selfish reasons behind it from a KPMG perspective, but I'm all right with that. You know,
don't care where it comes from.
I don't care, but why aren't the others doing it?
Yeah.
You know, why aren't the other big four doing it? Why aren't the banks doing it more? And I think some of the banks do it well. I mean, you're at the NatWest Accelerator.
I was.
You was.
Yeah.
And I think NatWest do a good job.
They do.
You know, and how was your experience through that?
It was good. It was good. Actually, funny enough, I'm a mentor there now.
So okay. You got to say it's good then.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, no, I think kind of I saw the value it could bring.
Yeah.
So kind of wanted to give back. So that's a great initiative. I'm sat right across from kind of Bartley's Eagle Labs, which is another kind of good initiative, helping a lot of digital companies kind of flourish. You've then got kind of we're on a program with National Express. Even though we do nothing around kind of transportation, they've got problems around kind of marketing, kind of brand engagement with the consumers, and obviously want us to kind of help them with that as well. So there are kind of pockets of it. But again, I don't think this is widely publicised. So, we've stumbled across a lot of these initiatives. I think there needs to be a hub, a platform, a community kind of signposting service, whatever it may be, to say, actually, this is what's going on. Giving people kind of, insight, training, learning, whatever it may be. But also from schools, saying to those schools, actually, this is how you can get some of your bright children who, frankly, kind of would be kind of, going to university and hating it, they can go and kind of, develop their skills in these kind of apprenticeship schemes for some great organisations. But we're not creating those pathways right now. We want to create something that, gives organisations that want to change the ability to kind of, have access to the right resources and develop further from there. So that is something we are kind of planning. But I think it's about kind of making sure that it's the right thing. And that's what we're kind of, mulling over at the moment, making sure that we're not just creating another, series of events. We want it to be more valuable than that. And that's where I think it needs buy-in from public sector at the same time. Which is, I've got to say, we've had kind of a West Midlands Growth Company really be supportive, the LEP, West Midlands Combined Authority. So we are getting that support. But it's taking time. It needs to not just be a week, it needs to be right. Actually, this is a 3-year strategic project to make sure Birmingham is seen as kind of, the second city for all the right reasons. I
love it. It's a point for you, by the way. It's 2 points for just trying to drive this, because it pisses me off that we're not.
Me too. Yeah.
That we're not in the space, and
it's hard though, right? It's kind of, that's the thing. It's not easy, but I suppose all good things in life aren't easy, right? So,
wicked. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Likewise.
What's the whip point, Jamie? What are we at? 6. It's a good go. Yeah, you didn't do very well on the quiz, so to come out with 6 points is pretty good, actually, isn't it?
The quiz was shocking.
The quiz was, it weren't your bag. You knew it weren't going to be. It's okay, isn't it?
Said it, didn't I? Yeah.
So, do a quick plug for Birmingham Tech Week. Give the dates. Come on, give us some. Hit me up with some info for it.
So Birmingham Tech Week, 7th to the 13th of October, taking place across lots of different venues across the city, covering health tech, ed tech, fintech, ed tech, whatever. And if you want to know more information, go to birminghamtechweek.com.
Nice, birminghamtechweek.com. Brilliant.
And again, that was available.
I mean, what on earth?
Yeah, I know, crazy.
That's a great domain name, isn't it?
All right, isn't it?
And then equally for Hyve.
Yeah, so if you want to find more information about Hyve, go to hyvespace.com. That's HYVE space.com. Not a space for word space.
Yeah, okay. All of it will be in the top comments for the podcast and through LinkedIn and stuff. Been an absolute pleasure having you on. I think it's amazing what you're doing with Birmingham Tech Week and Hyve. I think Hyve will no doubt be a huge success. I'm looking forward to seeing it launch. I actually want to have a chat with you off camera about what the potentials are as well.
Cool.
And Birmingham Tech Week, I'm fully behind it. I will be turning up to what I can do in that week, and the following year I want to be involved with it because we'll be in Birmingham, so it'll be a bit easier for us to run events from where we're at.
Awesome.
I'm into it. Absolute pleasure. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Lee. Cheers.
Cheers, dude. And now we hit the dun, 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 dun. He's not got it ready. It's in about every week. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's coming to the end. You've asked me to end it. You've asked me to, like, it's panic mode, and like you were the one who asked me to wrap it up because you want to keep on your timings. He's still not got it. I'm trying to ad lib like some kind of great radio. There we go. There we go. Dun, 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 dun.